Hello and welcome to today's webinar, the O3 Competitive Advantage on Projects, presented by Abdel Ghani, Sinno. A quick look at the agenda. I'm going to give you a brief overview of who O3 is, and then I'm going to introduce our speaker. And then he is going to walk you through what makes O3 the competitive advantage on projects. And we'll provide some key takeaways, and time permitting, we'll have a Q&A session. So with that in mind, you can submit questions throughout today's presentation via the GoToWebinar panel. And you can submit those at any point, and we will answer them at the very end. So who is O3? We are the market-leading agile software built specifically to support AWP. It's the only solution on the market with true work package management, no matter the size of the project. From small cap to mega projects, O3 is scalable and can support your AWP maturity journey. Here's a quick look at what makes our AWP software the market leader. We provide change management, collaboration, automation, scalability, and optimization. We're a member of CII and Advanced Work Packaging conferences and summits. And now let's take a look at what solutions we provide. And this includes on plan, on design, on build, on start, on target, and enterprise. But the important piece there is that we have solutions that support the entire project lifecycle, from appraisal and concept phase to front-end planning, detailed design and procurement, construction management and installation, test and turnover, and commissioning and startup. A quick look at O3 by the numbers, just to give you an idea of where and who is using our software solutions. We're on over 550 projects across the globe, and that encompasses over 10 owners, over 50 contractors, over 10 EPC firms. We cover over 10 solution areas, over 20,000 users, support 10 work package types, and it's all on one comprehensive platform. And it's also very important to note that we have a 92% client satisfaction rate with an 18% productivity improvement and a 58 NPS score. Today's presenter, this is Abdel Ghani Sinno. He's the Senior Director of Digital Transformation here at O3. He has over 16 years of experience in the construction industry, working across both the EPC and software provider worlds. Throughout his career, he's had the privilege of leading advanced work packaging implementations on more than 40 projects, including 20 on-site. Notably, he was among the first to implement AWP outside the industrial sector, bringing its benefits to civil and infrastructure projects, including high-rise buildings, metros, and highways. His expertise spans more than 7 AWP software solutions, and he's a member of the CII AWP CBA leadership team. Thank you for joining us today, Abdel. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks, Tori. I'm excited to be here today. Let's jump into the core of our discussion. The success of AWP really comes down to 3 key elements: people, process, and technology. People are at the core. They are the ones who need to understand and embrace AWP for it to work. Process gives us the structure and organization needed to guide every phase of the project, from the early planning stages all the way to execution and turnover in relation to AWP. And technology, it's what makes everything run smoothly, from communication and data management to creating packages and making decisions. When people, process, and technology work together, AWP can truly elevate project performance by cutting down delays, costs, and risks. At O3, we do not just focus on the technology side of AWP, but also on supporting the people and the process that make AWP successful. Let's begin with the people and explore how O3 can support them. Our platform makes it easy to manage AWP training courses, set up personalized learning paths, and manage prerequisites like those for workface planners. Plus, we track progress and issue certificates. I remember once training an EPC on using an AWP software, and their next question after completing the training was, "What do we do now?" They knew the clicks inside the tool, but hadn't had a proper AWP training. That's why we ensure all aspects of AWP are covered, so you're set up for success. As a user in O3, you can easily enroll in courses on your own, like this user who is currently enrolled in the Workface Planning 101 Fundamentals training course. If you are a manager, you can assign required courses to individuals, such as Workface Planning 301 IWP scoping, and then monitor their progress. Once a course is completed, a certificate is issued and tracked in the tool with the option to set an expiry date for specific certifications. Moreover, O3's training module helps you track not just AWP related courses, but also specialized training like safety and obviously software training, making it easy to stay on top of everything in one spot. Now, when it comes to the course's content, basic AWP courses are developed by O3, while more advanced courses are integrated through our AWP educational partners or to company-specific training materials. All courses and training details are now centralized in one place, along with a comprehensive training log, so you can ensure your team is well equipped with the expertise needed to excel in AWP. Next up, let's dive into the process and see how O3 can help you find and improve areas that need fine-tuning. So we've made sure that the project team has the right knowledge for AWP, but how do we ensure we're following all the AWP guidelines in practice? Many traditional consultancy firms and consultants charge tens of thousands of dollars for audits and evaluations of your AWP processes. These evaluations often rely on established frameworks like the CII AWP scorecard, which assesses your project's alignment with AWP principles. Instead of hiring expensive consultants who will do that assessment manually, O3 makes it easy by integrating these metrics right into the tool. Many of these are actually automated, calculated from your project data so you can see if you're meeting key benchmarks without spending a fortune. Our review tool is built on the CII AWP scorecard, which helps you check how well your project aligns with AWP principles and gives you a compliance percentage. It also highlights any gaps and improvement opportunities you might have missed, which can really boost your project's performance. You can then address these gaps using O3's team board feature, where you can create and track actions to make sure everything gets resolved effectively. We will show you an example shortly to demonstrate how this works in practice. For those unfamiliar with the CII AWP scorecard, it covers various stages and sections of the AWP process, starting from the design phase and extending through engineering, procurement, information management, and more. Each section includes a comprehensive list of measurements that contribute to a score for that section. In O3, we can customize measurement tools. In this example, we've incorporated the CII scorecard. However, we can accommodate other metrics you might need to track. The benefit of having these measurements within O3 is that many of them can be automatically calculated and others tracked through our team board feature. We'll go through several examples, but first, let's examine one section of the scorecard, AWP engineering and procurement, to see what measurement it includes and how the 5.1 score in O3 was calculated. The AWP engineering and procurement has many goal measurements. We're showing here 5 of them and how they are directly translated into O3. This integration allows for real-time tracking and updates, ensuring that your score reflects the most current project status. This approach not only provides a transparent view of your project's alignment with AWP principles, but also empowers you to make informed decisions that drive continuous improvement. Now let's dive into O3's AWP review tool, focusing once more on AWP engineering and procurement section. As you can see, some of these measurements can be automatically calculated based on the data captured within the system. Measurements that can't be auto-calculated can be linked to specific tasks in O3 using our team board feature. For example, you can set up a team board specifically for managing tasks related to your AWP program setup. Let's take the example of requests for proposals include and contracts include the requirement for AWP. This goal measurement is directly linked to the AWP program setup team board, where you can track who the task is assigned to, its priority, status, due date, and more. While this is a practical use case for managing AWP-related tasks, O3's flexibility allows you to create as many team boards as needed to track unrelated AWP tasks, such as follow-up actions from construction meetings, internal engineering action items, miscellaneous subcontractor tasks, and more. Let's demonstrate now an example on how O3 can automatically calculate the score of some of these goal measurements. Let's take an example from the CII scorecard. IWPs are free of constraints immediately prior to release. In O3, we would link this measurement to the early completion of constraints entity, and then setting the parameter of this entity to 0, i.e., IWPs are completed 0 week prior to start date. This way, the tool will automatically review all IWPs to verify that they were cleared of all constraints right before being released to site and ultimately provide a score for that goal measurement. The AWP review tool in O3 provides real-time measurements to ensure your project continuously aligns with AWP principles. This tool helps you monitor compliance and track progress, making sure your project adheres to AWP guidelines at all times and without the need for costly external consultants. Now let's dive into the technology pillar, my favorite part. In my 16 years of hands-on experience with a range of over 7 AWP tools, I've faced a lot of interesting challenges when it comes to implementing AWP software. Today, we will explore some of these challenges together and see how O3 stands out with its unique solution. Let's start with software deployment, which oftentimes is a slow and painful journey to achieving complete software usability and can take up to 6 months. For many of these applications, setting up a single tenant environment alone can take weeks. While some might offer multi-tenant solutions as a faster alternative, this approach can introduce significant risks, which we'll be covering in a later section. Another challenge with these AWP tools is their manual configuration processes. Many setups are handled manually and lack consistency, meaning you might not get full administrative control until much later. Additionally, API integrations can be a major barrier. They often lack proper API calls and documentation, leading to force you to pay high fees for additional integration services. You might also encounter delay in user and admin training because it often cannot proceed until your data set is configured. Let's dive into how O3 makes a difference. With O3, getting your environment set up and running is incredibly fast. We can have a single tenant environment ready in under an hour. All our configurations are built in, which make the process seamless and set for repeatability. We offer a state-of-the-art API that empower your IT team to handle integrations, all with our support at no extra cost. This means you are in control and not reliant on the software vendor. Plus, software admin training can start as early as day one, allowing your team to get up to speed right away. Let's explore O3 state-of-the-art API calls. You can easily create an API key in O3 and test the API on the fly. Here, you will find a list of API calls that allow you to seamlessly handle any integration with O3, whether it's with your in-house systems or third-party applications. Our API is well documented, making it straightforward for you to proceed with your own integrations. And if you need any support along the way, O3 provides assistance at no extra cost. However, if you still need us to handle the API integration part, we would be more than happy to do it. Another challenge I've previously encountered is processing 3D models. I recall a situation where we had to create 8 separate projects in a software because the 3D model was too large and would cause the application to crash. While newer software solutions can handle larger files, they can be very slow, sometimes taking up to a week or two to process and deliver the models. Additionally, these solutions offer, very often they require manual intervention and might rely on third-party applications, making the process very cumbersome. Another issue is that tools struggle with processing IDF or PCF files and generating the bill of materials, which is essential for creating piping spool packages, one of the most critical activities in oil and gas projects. Many assume that processing 3D models is all what is needed to create packages, but that's not the case. After processing them, you would be able to navigate and view the models, but you still need to prep them for packaging. This involves defining a pool of tags for each package activity type. Some applications skip this step, leaving you with all tags of all disciplines available for selection when creating a package. Others handle this by using spreadsheets, which is as if you were manually creating these packages, and lack built-in modules for efficient processing. O3 overcomes the challenges of processing large 3D models by using model conditioning techniques to remove unnecessary components through a built-in module. You can also create various model groups to focus on specific construction work areas, CWAs, of your project. For instance, you might have one model group with detailed information of CWA, where you plan to create your installation work packages, while having the surrounding CWAs with less detailed information, where IWPs are not planned yet. O3 supports processing over 75 model file formats, including PCF and IDF files. We can model spool graphics, including their welds, and extract bill of materials data from both PCF and IDF files, but also from the entire 3D model. Additionally, we have built-in modules specifically designed to enable work packaging, so that your workface planning team can easily create packages. To illustrate that, let's look at a clear example of how we streamline this process. Preparing the 3D model for work package creation is typically a time-consuming task for AWP software administrators, but O3 makes it a very simple task. Let's look at this example. What you see here is an intelligent 3D model that's ready for packaging. First, the component tree or navigation tree has automatically been reorganized from a workface planner's perspective rather than from a 3D modeler's perspective, i.e. organizing it by discipline and constructible components rather than by design. Next, the tool has automatically identified that since the user is creating an above-ground piping installation package, only piping components are visible. Components that have already been packaged are highlighted in blue, while those ready for packaging are marked in green. If you're using an AWP application, think about the effort involved in achieving this. If you don't have one yet, let's explore how O3 makes this process seamless and efficient. You can see here we have several IWP purposes. One for equipment installation, another for steel structure installation. We'll go ahead and define here a new IWP purpose targeting, let's say, 2-inch small bore piping made of carbon steel. This means next time the workface planner selects this purpose, he will simply see the components falling under this category, just like we saw in the previous example. Let's go ahead and create the configuration. We'll give first a name and a code for this IWP purpose. So small bore carbon steel piping installation. The prevent option won't allow other components to be selected based on the below configuration. So the component type is piping, obviously. Bore size is equal. So we're adding another rule here. So bore size is equal to 2. And material type is carbon steel. And just like that, the configuration was done in under a minute. This is not a simple selection. This is the configuration. With other applications, this task could take an entire day, if not more. And guess what? When you receive a new revision, because all these rules are built in, you won't need to take any further action. Whereas tools doing it manually have to spend the same amount of time every single time. Another significant challenge is scalability. When addressing scalability issues with AWP software, several key factors come into play. First, many of these applications are heavily focused on 3D model features. This emphasis means that small projects, typically under $10 million, which oftentimes don't include 3D models, are left underserved because the software lacks meaningful functionality without these models. Another major issue is the lack of adherence to industry standards within these applications. This absence of standardized practices can hinder the software's ability to scale effectively. Additionally, the complexity of this infrastructure required to support these applications causes a significant problem. Many features were added as a forced modifications rather than being part of the original design, complicating the system further. Finally, since configurations must be done from scratch for each project, every project is treated as a fresh start. This approach not only impacts scalability, but also demands substantial resources to ensure successful implementation. O3 is built to scale with ease, accommodating both small and large projects, whether they involve 3D models or not. It meets CII AWP data requirements, ensuring thorough data management. A major benefit is that you don't need to define integration points with the project control tools for each project individually, which simplifies the overall process. Plus, with the use of O3 project templates, which includes all your previous configurations, you can quickly and easily set up new projects regardless of the industry or contract type. So you can have a dedicated configuration for small cap projects or large cap projects or data centers and so on. Let's take a look at CII data requirements. O3 is a contributor to CII AWP data requirements SR 1901. AWP Data Requirements Implementation Guideline latest version 1.4 was published on March 31st, 2023. You can find it on CII official website, and if you are a member of CII, you can download it for free. So what are these requirements, these data requirements all about? So prior to the completion of this AWP Data Requirements Implementation Guideline, both CII's body of knowledge and the construction industry at large lacked a vetted, comprehensive set of data requirements for AWP. This guideline aimed at, supports efforts to implement the assembled AWP data requirements, encourage companies to standardize information flow for work processes on capital projects, and serve as a critical reference as companies create contracts that include data to support AWP. The AWP data requirement outlines the minimum requirements for data object attributes, including format, structure, and description. By specifying the minimum data requirements, communication is clarified, the quality of data is improved, and data integrity and integration can be realized. O3 played a key role in developing the data requirements implementation guides and has effectively incorporating them into our software. Let's take a closer look. The data requirement cover all integration points required for AWP, from engineering, 3D models, procurement, fabrication, material, etc. For example, from engineering, we require the equipment list, DR050, and these are the data attribute required specifically for our AWP implementation. Another example is document control, DR12001, the document register. What are the required and optional fields we need when sending drawings and documents to an AWP tool, which will help ultimately in facilitating and automating part of the AWP implementation. In O3, we've embedded these data requirements into the tool so that any organization who has adopted the standard can easily integrate with. However, for organizations that are using other standards or have their own, O3 can still support that since we have rule-based mapping functions within the tool to process your information. The data coming from these systems can be passed to O3 through API, as we've seen before, or through flat file exchange that can be put on a schedule. For example, files on BIM 360 or SharePoint will be pulled every day at 5 p.m. and be processed within O3. In this example, we are checking the information process for the document management system, the document register DR12001, the one we have just seen in the AWP CI data requirements. Once the information is processed within O3, admin and users alike can check the processed information. When is the next run and the frequency? Even notification can be established to check the status of the import. A further challenge involves the licensing model. Many AWP software applications charge per user license, which limits the number of people who can access the tool. AWP is fundamentally about aligning all project stakeholders, so it's crucial that everyone involved has access to the tool. For example, the clearance of constraints often requires input from nearly everyone on the project. Therefore, limiting access significantly diminishes the potential benefits of AWP. I once had a client request to automate the creation of fabrication work packages, not to enhance efficiency, but to reduce the number of workface planners needed, mainly to cut down on software licensing costs. While some cloud-based AWP applications offer unlimited licenses in a multi-tenant environment, this approach comes with significant risk. Sharing infrastructure among multiple clients can lead to data breaches or unauthorized access if proper isolation isn't enforced. Moreover, the performance of multi-tenant systems can be impacted by the resource usage of other tenants. For a deeper dive into why single-tenant environments are preferable, refer to our previous webinar, O3's Incredible Infrastructure, where we explain why O3 exclusively deploys single-tenant environments. Lastly, for small projects, especially when AWP tools are sold on a per license basis, justifying the ROI becomes very challenging. At O3, we offer an unlimited number of licenses, not only to your organization, but also to any project member, including subcontractors, even if they aren't part of your organization. You retain full control over the tool through customizable roles and permissions. We provide a true single-tenant environment with no components shared with other clients, ensuring your data is fully isolated. This setup guarantees better performance and helps you meet regulatory requirements. Finally, our licensing is tailored to project size, with different pricing for smaller projects, making it justifiable from an ROI perspective. Over the years, I've consistently encountered a significant challenge in the adoption of AWP tools, as construction managers and owners often struggle to trust the data these tools generate. The root of this issue lies in the perceived disconnect between the software outputs and the actual conditions on the job site. Construction and project managers frequently observe that what the software reflects doesn't match the reality they see in the field. This discrepancy, along with concerns that the data is not updated in a timely manner, leads to a loss of confidence in the tool. In many cases, their doubts are justifiable. Construction projects require a minimal margin of error, and any inconsistency in data can have significant implications. As a result, while many teams agree to implement AWP tools to satisfy client requirements, they rarely rely on them to actually execute the work. The tools are often treated as a formality rather than a trusted resource. However, O3 distinguishes itself as a tool that construction managers and owners can rely on, and here is why. Construction managers and owners can trust the output coming from O3 because the tool is built with robust validation rules throughout the application. For instance, you can't transition the status of an installation work package without first assigning the necessary drawings. This isn't just about checking the drawing status, it requires the physical drawing to be attached. Additionally, if a package has a predecessor identified in the schedule, it cannot be released until all prerequisites are met. Progress on IWPs is only possible once they are released to the field, and even the daily report is validated against the daily weather forecast. O3 also allows for extensive customization of workflows. Constraints are automatically generated at every status transition because statuses and constraints can arise at various stages of package development. For example, a scaffold request can be triggered right before releasing a package. Approval workflows ensure that packages are reviewed and approved by all relevant parties, including owners when necessary. The tool also tracks action items from meetings, RFI workflows, safety observations, and the risk register through the time board feature, which provides everyone on the project with visibility into pending tasks. Another area where O3 excels is change management. The tool provides instant notifications when there are changes in quantities, material availability, or even drawing revisions. If a drawing is revised and is now put on hold, the tool automatically creates a new constraint and sends an automatic notification to the IWP owner or watcher, ensuring that the work is immediately stopped. Finally, O3 is designed to facilitate a smooth transition from installation to completion. Construction managers and owners can track the readiness, for example, of mechanical systems, as these systems are automatically linked to their associated IWPs. This visibility allows for a clear understanding of the remaining work needed for a system to be tested, thereby reducing the number of punch list items before inspecting these systems prior to testing. On the AI front, O3 leverages AI to significantly enhance the user experience on our cloud-based platform. At O3, we believe in delivering practical AI solutions tailored to your needs with a strong focus on tangible value, privacy, and data security. We don't create AI features just for the sake of it. Instead, we thoroughly gather insights from user stories, product analytics, and client requests. This approach has enabled us to develop optimized workflows and innovative tools, such as O3's AI digital paper integration. This feature empowers superintendent and foreman to maintain the ease of using paper on the job site while eliminating the need for manual data entry. Often projects face challenges like limited or no internet connectivity on site, or restrictions on using tablet devices due to safety concerns. On many projects I've been part of, even mobile phones weren't allowed on site. Now, with AI, foremen can record progress as they typically would on paper, and we can process that information through AI to automatically update package progress and schedules. In the past, this required special paper and pens. But now, with AI, you can use any piece of paper and any pen without needing special servers or printing. Another practical AI use case is O3 is identifying the relationship between tags and drawings. O3 harnesses advanced AI text recognition techniques to process drawings and build essential tag drawing relationships, which are crucial for auto-populating packages with their required drawings. Here is an example of progress data collected from a piece of paper, including any poor handwriting from the foreman. Despite these challenges, O3's AI accurately processed the information and updated the progress within the tool. At O3, we're proud of the exceptional support we provide. We offer real-time assistance through our live chat feature, so you're never left waiting for answers. Our commitment to continuous improvement means we roll out new updates every 2 weeks, many of which are driven by your feedback and requests. These updates come with zero downtime, so you and all your clients receive the latest features and improvements at the same time without any disruption. We know that transparency and consistency are crucial, and that's why we provide detailed release notes with every update. Unlike some startups that might only release updates every 4 months and struggle with transparency, we ensure you're always informed about what's new and what's been fixed. Additionally, with some desktop applications, updating only once a year, you might experience inconsistent versions and compatibility issues. When you are evaluating support and updates, consider these questions. How often are updates released? What's the downtime when pushing a new release? Are release notes provided? Is the software version consistent for all clients? You might be surprised to find that many cloud applications don't update regularly or lack detailed documentation. At O3, we're here to make your experience as smooth and transparent as possible, so you can concentrate on achieving your goals and driving your projects forward. Here is a look at our previous releases. You will notice that we deliver 25 to 26 releases per year, which translate to an update approximately every 2 weeks. In this release note back from early 2023, you can see the enhancement done, for example, over the 2D plot plan feature in details, ensuring that you always have access to the latest functionalities and improvements. We take transparency seriously, and that's why we consistently publish detailed release notes with each update. These notes keep you well informed about what's new, what has been fixed, and how the changes might impact your use of our platform. As we wrap up, here are the key takeaways from today's presentation. O3 Solutions supports the three pillars of AWP: people, process, and technology. O3 ensures a fast and easy path to full software usability by having all its configuration built in, such as 3D model processing, model conditioning, model packaging enabling, and so on. O3 follows CII best practice of AWP data requirements, but can accommodate any organization standard through project templates. O3 leverages AI for practical applications that deliver real, tangible value to our clients. O3 provides unmatched support with live chat assistance, bi-weekly releases, and zero downtime during deployments. We've covered the key points, and now we're ready for your questions. Over to you, Tori.
Sure thing. Excellent presentation. Thank you for all of that information, Abdel. So yeah, just a reminder, you can submit your questions here via the GoToWebinar control panel. We will take them as time permits. So let's jump in. Okay, first one, let's see. Can we run 4D simulations in O3?
Absolutely. O3 lets you run 4D simulations, so you can check if your project is sticking to the plan by comparing plan versus actual progress. You can validate the sequence of your packages to make sure everything is on track. We do have many 4D scenarios that you could run.
Okay. Let's see. If we are not following CII data requirements, can we still use the tool?
Yeah, sure. I mean, O3 supports CII AWP data requirements. However, you can also define your own field mappings in O3 and include them in your standard project templates, and thus make them available for future projects. This is one of the reasons why O3 is scalable.
Awesome. Okay. You mentioned that everyone on the project gets access. Can we limit what a subcontractor can access?
Great question. We have roles and permissions built in the tool. For example, if you have a subcontractor working on E&I packages, you can restrict their access so that they only create and view E&I packages. So yeah, you have full control over who can see what.
Okay, let's see. Probably time for one last question. So let's do this one. If we aren't implementing AWP, can we still use O3?
Absolutely. O3 is a project management application. It doesn't really require AWP to be implemented. For instance, you can track all the work at the activity level and utilize features such as, the constraint module, workflows, system completion, safety observations, the risk register, status visualization, team board, and more to ensure that your project will be completed on time and on budget.
Okay, awesome. Well, that is gonna wrap it up for time we have for questions. If you have more questions, we'd still love to hear them. You can contact us on our website right there on screen at www.o3.solutions. And as a reminder, you will receive a copy of today's presentation. We will be emailing out a recording as well as the slides. So if you have any other questions, again, please don't hesitate to reach out, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you, Abdel, for presenting today.
Thank you. Thank you, Tori. Thanks, everyone.